Welcome back. So in the last session we set up an Amazon AWS Ubuntu server. We noticed though that the security group has not allowed us to open port 22, so we need to go and do that. We also need to find a way to log into the command prompt of our new server, because Amazon doesn't provide that functionality through the web browser. So we're going to use a third-party tool called PuTTY. Some of you may be familiar with this already. It's a free telnet SSH client, and you can download it. If you go to Google and Google PuTTY, you should find it. There's a download page here, and from the download page we can download PuTTY itself. We can also download some supporting applications. So here's putty.exe, and a little bit further down then you'll also find puttygen, which we will need to convert the security key, the key pair key that we downloaded when we created our instance, to convert that into a form that PuTTY can work with. You can download a suite of PuTTY tools using a Windows installer as well, so that's also an option. Let's open puttygen now and see if we can convert that PEM file that was generated, the key pair file that was generated when we started our instance, and let's see, can we convert that to a PPK file, which is the format that PuTTY recognizes. So we just went to load a private key, and the Amazon file is a PEM key. So let's search for PEM files in my download folder. There's the one, MCT620. So that's the one we're going to load. puttygen has successfully imported that foreign key. Good news. Now we need to save that private key in the new format. You can give it a passphrase, but I'm not going to do that. And I'm just going to store this in my PuTTY folder. You can put it wherever you want to. And you can see the file extension is changing now from PEM, which was the Amazon format, to PPK, which PuTTY will understand. Okay. So we should be ready now to configure PuTTY to connect to our instance. So let's open up PuTTY, having installed it, downloaded it and installed it. The first thing that PuTTY needs is the IP address for our instance. So where can we find that? We can find it on the EC2 management console. Let's click on our instance. And the IP address is actually located here on the screen, but just to get more complete SSH connection details, just click on the Actions menu and choose Connect, and you can see Amazon gives you full instructions here on how to configure your SSH client. And that IP address, we need to copy it. So it's Ubuntu at EC2 176 and whatever else your instance IP address includes. Back to PuTTY, and let's paste that DNS address into our dialog box. Let's give this PuTTY session a name so that we can save all these settings and we don't have to configure them every time we want to connect to our instance. So let's call it MCT620 class. Let's just save that. We have some more configuration to do, but let's just get this set up. We also need to configure our connection details. The default username for our Ubuntu instance is Ubuntu. And we also need now to tell PuTTY where the PPK key is that we just saved a few moments ago. So I put it in my PuTTY folder. There it is, MCT620 class. So let's review. We've provided PuTTY with the Ubuntu instance IP address, which we got from our admin console. We've told Ubuntu what the username of the login is going to be. That's Ubuntu. And we've told it where to find our key pair file. So we should have PuTTY configured. Let's see what happens if we hit open now. I should save that file as well, by the way. Now nothing happens. Okay, and the reason nothing happens is, remember we said we also had to open the firewall port. So let's go and do that. To EC2, I'm going to go and look for our security groups. Remember, the security group that we set up for our instance was called MCT620 class. And what we need to do here is set up a custom TCP rule. And that rule is going to open port 22, because you can see here in PuTTY, look. Let me just create a new session here. PuTTY uses port 22, so that's why we need to open that port on our firewall. So it's a custom TCP rule, it's port 22, we'll add that rule. I've got some other rules there, so we'll talk about those later on. This is the important one right now, the SSH22 port. Apply that rule change. Now let's try again. So back to PuTTY. Let's load MCT620 class and let's open. So what happens this time? Hey, something's happening. We've got an Ubuntu command line. At the very top there we saw it. We saw PuTTY log on with the username Ubuntu, authenticating with our PPK key, and we now have an Ubuntu command prompt.